the requirement is we have amount here, right? And then we need to convert into from EUR to INR, and we need a result here. Here also, here we have a different amount, different currency format, and then output currency format. So different input currency format, different amounts we need to convert into, so different output currency format. So this is our requirement for this. So if you want to know the live rates of these currencies, then what we are going to do? Generally, we will go to Google and then we will search for currency converters, right? So for example, so let me show you here. We'll open Google. We'll say that currency converter, right? So if you observe here, see this, you will get some, so like portals, right? Some applications. So this one, so let me take this. Okay, so what are the things we can able to see it here? See this also here. So we need to enter amount here, and then so input currency format. So here for example, so we are going to enter some amount. This is the amount here. Okay, so this amount you need to convert from GBP to GBP, and then I need to convert into INR. Now observe this, and we will click on this. Now we got the result, right? This is the result. We will capture this result, and then we are going to so paste that result into this particular Excel sheet, right? So this is the thing what we are going to do. So if you want to get the live rates, right? For example here, so if you observe, so different amounts, is assume that, so here if you have 1000 records or 2000 records in your Excel sheet, and then you have so different so inputs, and then different output currency format, then what we are going to do, we are going to automate this application. We have to automate, we have to enter each and every value here, and then we need to change this input currency, we need to change this output currency format. After that we need to click on a convert button. This is our requirement, right? To do this, each and every values we are going to pick it here, and then we will give it to this application. So instead of doing manually each and for each and every record, so we can able to automate this application. First rule is, if you want to automate any application, what we need to do, we need to go through that application, right? So now we will go through the currency converter application, what all the things we are performing here. So first, by default, what we need to do, so we are launching this one, currency converter. So this is our URL, right? We need to launch, and then so that is your URL. First step is we need to launch, and then this will be our URL. So next what we need to do, after launching, we need to enter this amount here, right? We need to type here, we need to write, it means we need to write. So here we need to, next action will be, we need to enter amount. For that what we need to do, we need to write here, we need to use a write action, it means. After that, so we need to click, if you click on this, observe this, we are getting type to search option. For example, if I type USD here, it is taking, right? USD, it is going to so take. And then so if for example here, if you observe one more thing, drop down list also it's available, right? So how to pick the list of the values from a drop down list, we will see it in later examples. So now here, so it is allowing type, we will use type. So here this is input currency format, and this is output currency format. So again, so we need two things, right? So next one will be, after the amount, input currency format, after that output currency format. All these two are also right option. Okay, after that, observe this, this is your convert button. It says that it's a convert. What we are going to do here, click, right? Mouse click. So we have to use convert. Next one is convert button. What you are using? You are using here mouse click, mouse click. So we have to use navigate shape. Okay. So after that, we will get the result. We will get result here. This result you need to capture. We need to capture this result. For that, we need to create a element for result. What we are going, we have to use read. We are reading the result, right? So we have to use a read option. After getting the result, so we are going to terminate your application. We are going to close your application. So these are the actions we need to create in that application if you want to automate. Okay, so right now we'll see so how to work with this, how to create this application, how to automate this. First, what we will do is we will see. First, we will automate the application. Later, we will see that how to pick the values from Excel, how to give it to this particular application. Okay, so first we will automate. So later we will see that how to pick the values from Excel and how to give it to application. Now, what we need to do here, so let me open BluePrism. Okay, we need to create a object. Right click, create a object, currency converter. So let's take the name, this name. Next, finish. Now double click on that application. Now here, first we need to create a application. Click on that application modular. Next, this is your browser based applications, and then browser has to be launched through executable file, and then Internet Explorer.exe by default. Here you need to enter your URL, your application URL, right? So now come to this. What is your application URL? This is our application URL. Now come here and next, and then so next. Okay, so now it has created application and it's created a main element. It created main element. For that main element, what we need to do, we need to create launch and terminate. We'll create a launch and a terminate for using main element, by using main element, right? Okay, if you observe here, click on this main element, see this what it says: application name, executable file path, and then URL, right? Okay, so let first we need to launch by using application modular. Then only we can able to work with application, then only we can able to spy the things, otherwise it's not possible. Remember, must and should, the application has to launch through your application modular. So if you use manually, if you launch manually, so you can't able to spy. Okay, so now first launch, it's trying to launch our application. Once the application is launched, yes, it's launched, right? So then we can able to create elements here. So first, which action we need to create? Element is created, main element, and we need to create a action. This one is for launch, launching. Click OK. And for that, which one we have to use? We have to use navigate shape and give the link. Double click, main element we have to use, and then launch. Click OK. So it is going to launch. Already the application has been launched here, right? So Internet Explorer, it has been already launched here, so no need to launch it again. Okay, once it is launched, then what we need to do? So next step is amount. We need to create all these elements, and we need to create all the, for the each and every element we need to create a actions. So now go to application modular, element will be amount, and identify, come to that application. Here this is your amount, right? So by default it is going to take HTML mode is your default mode. If you observe here, in this object, in this element, can you able to see this, right? Two things it is buying here inside the single element, single object. Two things it is buying. In these situations, which one we have to take? Is it a inner one or is it a outer one? So these two things right here, two things we have, inner and outer. So in these situations we can't able to decide, so which one we have to go for? Did we need to go for a inner one, or did we need to go for a outer one? So remember one rule, must and should, you need to spy both the things, in that element, and then you need to capture the properties. After that, then only you can able to understand which one we have to use. If you are not sure that by using the properties also, then we have to test it, and then we have to check, so which one we have to use. So here right, so when you are using element, you will create both the elements, and then you will use right option. When you are testing, so you can able to understand that which one it is going to work. So based on that only we can able to understand inner or outer one we have to use, which one we have to use it here. Okay, first we will go with the outer one. Control left click, it will capture the properties. Now what we need to do by default, we need to uncheck where you don't have values as well as parent URL, right? Okay, now click apply. Okay, we created an element, so this one is for outer one, right? We will create another element for inner one. Application modular, another element, amount, inner, identify, come to that application. This is for inner one. Previously we have taken for outer one. Now we are taking for inner one. Control left click. Now observe this here. And check. Okay. Now observe the properties of the both the elements here. Amount, it says that, so it says span, and then so path, and then true, and then so class name. Okay. Now if you observe here, amount inner, see this, it says that it's a input, and then it is saying that input type is a text, right? It is allowing input type as a text, and then it is saying that input, this is a input, right? So and then so this is the input identifier is amount. By seeing this, we can able to understand that, so this one it is going to work. If you are not sure with the properties, so you have only one option, that is you have to test it. We will take the both the elements, and then we will check in a right option, then you can able to understand which one it is going to work, right? So now by seeing these properties, we will decide that, we can able to decide that inner one it is going to work, outer one it will not work, because outer one, so it's, so nowhere it is saying that it is a text, and then so it is a so input type, right? Okay, so let me delete this one, so another, delete this. Okay, now click apply, and then click OK. So now we will test it, and then we will see that. Right click, create a action for amount, click OK. Now what we need to do for this amount, so we need to enter, right? we need to use a write option. With the right, double click, use this element, so values, for example, anything, so double line, so double line. Okay, so now this is the amount, sorry, amount, so no need to give it in a double quotes, right? Okay, so now click okay. So if you want to test it, reset, and then we are going to test it. It has to enter the 9999 value in that particular field. Now come here, observe this, it's entered, right? It entered, so 9999. Okay, so next we need to type GBB here. Again we need to spy this, and then we need to create a action for this. Come to application modular again, click on the add element. This is for input currency. Identify, come to this one, right? This for input currency. Here we don't have any two things, only one thing it is spying here in this particular object, right? So we can able to pick this, control left click, come to this application modular again, and check the parent URL. Now highlight, this one, since it's highlighting. It's highlighting, it seems. Okay, see this, it's not showing any other. It means it is highlighting. Okay, so let's try for this, and then we will try to enter the data here. Then we can. So now apply, and then okay. So now come to, we need to create a action for this. Input currency, right? Input currency. So let's give just input currency. Click OK. So again what we need to do here, again we need to write. We have to use a write option. Double click on this. We have to use input currency. And what will be the input currency? We need to give GBP. So anything. So if you observe here, so we have different options in your input currency format. See this? You have a number of things, right? From this you can select any one option. Okay, so we have selected GBP. Yeah. So let me create a, click OK. We will test it, reset, and then we will run it. It has to enter that particular value in your GBP. Now, so what was the error it is throwing? It's saying that more than one element, so matching here, right? Just a minute. So reset. Let me run one more time. Okay. So now observe this. It's entered GBP here, right? So it's entered GBP. So after that, so what we need to do? So we need to convert into another one into output currency as a INR. So again, we need to go to application modular. We need to create a element, add element. for output currency, identify, come to that application, this one. This is your output currency, right? This one, control, left click. We'll use control and left click to identify that. Click on this. Again, so we need to uncheck parent URL. Then wherever we don't have values, okay, and highlight. Highlight it. It's highlighting, right? Okay. So now apply, and then okay. Okay. So next, so we need to create a action for this input currency. After that, output currency. Output currency format. Click OK. Again, we will use right option. Give the link. Double click on this. Output currency format. And then what will the value? So we need to convert into INR. Click OK. And we need to test it. Reset. And then if you run, it's ran. And from here, see this INR has been entered. Next, what we need to do, we need to click on a convert button. So we have to create an element for that, and we need to create an action. Again, come to the application modular, add element. This is for convert button, and identify. Come to that application, this one. Okay. So here, if you observe, see this. Have you observed this one here? Again, here also it is trying to spy two things, right? Inner and outer one. So here, which one we have to take? Again, we have to cross check with the properties, and then if you are not sure with the properties, you need to test and you need to come to one conclusion. Okay, so we don't have any thing like, so we have to go for inner and we have to go for outer every time. So in the first option, in the amount, which one we have taken? We have taken for inner one, right? Now we will see that here. So can you blindly, when you go for inner one here also? No, we can't able to do that. So first we need to check. Control left click. We are going for outer one first. Capture the properties. Uncheck the things. Now highlight. Show it. Okay. So now when you click on this, click highlight. See this? It's highlighting. Right? Okay. So now apply. Sorry. Here come to this. Apply. And then okay. Now what we need to do? We need to create a action for this. Minimize this. Come to here. Right click. No. And here, okay. So before that, before creating the action, we will go for the outer one also. Inner one we went. Sorry, outer one. We will check with the inner one also. So here, come to this application modular. So this is for outer one, right? Outer one, the properties is this one. Okay, so this is for the inner one also. Add element, identify, come to this. Now here, this is the inner one, right? This is the inner one. This is outer one. Now we will take the inner one. Control, left click. Observe this. What it says. So let me show you something. Okay, so if you observe here, okay, so these are the properties we have, right? Some true, some path, and then the path, and then so true. Okay, come to the convert. So outer one, this outer one, observe this. It says that it is a button. It is a button, right? But here, anywhere is it saying in a inner one is it a button? No, right? It is not saying anywhere it is a button. So we can go for outer one. First amount we have taken an inner one. So for this one, so we are going to take a outer one. So like this, based on the properties only we can able to understand. If you can't able to understand, we have to test it and we need to so come for the conclusion. So now click apply. Okay. Now come to this. We need to create a action for this. Again, what we need to do, we need to here, we need to use navigate. It's a mouse click option, right? Convert button. We will use double click on this, use the convert button, and then we have to use click center. Now click OK. Okay. So after this, okay, let me test it. Okay, set and run. It has to click on that particular thing. It has been clicked. Now observe this. We got the result. It has converted and then we got the result now here. Now we need to capture this result. It means again we need to spy this, right? So now again go to this application modular and then create a add element and we need to result identify. Come to this application. This is your result, right? Now control left click. It is going to capture the properties. Okay. So here what are the things we need to uncheck? We need to uncheck wherever we don't have values, and then so parent URL generally, right? Okay. So here, so by seeing these properties, we can able to understand why we need to uncheck parent URL every time for browser-based application. Observe this carefully. Parent URL. What is the option you have here? See this? It is giving the path, and then here amount. So 99999, and then it is trying to converting from GBP to INR. So if you have this parent URL, it has been, if it is checked every time, when you are giving some other values also, it is going to try to so convert these values from GBP to INR every time. But it is not going to take dynamically, it will be static every time. So this is a hard coded value. Every time it is going to try to implement the same thing. So that's why we are going to uncheck parent URL. Remember this. If any application, if you want to work dynamically, then we have to uncheck parent URL. Otherwise, if you don't check this every time, it will give you the result for the same thing. If you give some other values also. Okay. So that's the purpose. So that's why we are going to uncheck parent URL. Okay. So these are the things we don't have values, and then click apply, and then click on a highlight. It's highlighting, and then click OK. Now we'll create a action for this. Right click, new. This is for result. Click OK. Result, what we need to do, we need to capture the result. Use this read option. Double click on this. Go to result, and then get the current value. Result, we need to store it in somewhere else. Okay, so we have stored this value into value from the text. Now click OK. Now if you run this, whatever the result we are going to see there, you can able to see that result here in your data item. Now, so let me run this, refresh, and then run. Observe this. It picked that value, and you can able to see that result here. Okay, so it is done. So then what we need to do? So after all these things, we need to terminate your application, right? terminate, click OK. We have to use navigate and then give that link, double click, and then we have to use main element. Always terminate and then launch, we need to use a main element, right? Terminate, click OK. So click OK on this. So now reset, and then if you run, it is going to terminate your application, right? It has been closed. Now these are the actions we created. Okay, so next, once we created, so where and all you need to use a wait, we have to cross check, right? So here in this application, so if you observe here what is happening here, so we are, when you are launching, by default we need to use a wait option, that is default. After that we are entering some value here, we are trying to, so USD2 select, and then so any value USD2, for example, so EUR, and then we are clicking on a convert. Observe this, when you are clicking on a convert, again it is taking some time to refresh the page, right? It is taking some time to refresh it. Then here it means we need to use a wait option. We need to use wait option. Okay, now come to here application, and then we will use a wait options here. Launch, we have to use wait. Come to wait option, give the link, double click on this wait, use your main element, check exist, right? We will use check exist. Check exist, next element, check exist. If it is exist, so then so you can come out, otherwise you can wait for 10 seconds. So this is your dynamic wait, what we are going to implement it here. Okay, now okay, here we are using dynamic for the next element. Can you able to use the same dynamic element for the results for this convert button? After the convert, it has to wait some time, right? Okay, so if you observe here, come this, if you click on this, it will refresh, and then it is going to get the result, right? If you use a wait option here, and then if you use dynamic, then what is going to be happen? When you click on this, it will go to, so now refresh, and then it will give you the value. Before that, if you use dynamic option, the next element is exist, then always before refreshing the page, it will check here, immediately it will go, and then it will check here the result exists or not. If the result exists, whatever the result exists here, then that one will give you as a result. It means every time it will give you the result for the same values, because already so it is available, so you can't able to it can't able to pick the previous thing. So if you click on this, it is picking. Okay, so the result is getting, but here what you are trying to do, so here you can able to use in a convert. Okay, so let me explain. Use wait option, and then you are going to use this. For example, if you use wait option, after the convert we have the result, right? If you are checking result exist, every time the result is available, so always it is going to pick the existing value only. So it means the meaning of this is we can't able to use a dynamic option here. It's not possible to use dynamic option. In this case, what we have to do, so we can use, so basically, so normally, so whatever the thing, so for example 10 seconds or 15 seconds we will wait by default, no need to give use dynamic option. So that's why we need to go through that application first, so where to use a wait, where we can able to use a dynamic option. So then only so if you go through that application, then only we can able to understand, right? So that's why, okay, so we have to go through, and then we have to check the things. Okay, so now save this application. Okay, now once you created all these weights and then everything, then we need to publish, right? Right click, publish. sorry, right click, publish. Each and every element, each and every action, so we need to publish. All are we are publishing. Now all are published. So if you want to, okay, so save this, saved it. Now if you want to run this in a process studio, what we need to do? We need to create a process for this, right? Okay, so let me open process. So go to process studio, right click, create a process. Now this is for currency process. This one, next. Already we created a actions, so we are going to use the actions by using action shape here, right? So now use this action, double click, use your, what is your object name which you created, currency, right? This is your object name, and then what will be the action? Launch. Now click OK. So after the launch, let me give the name also. This one is for launch. Okay, so now next one will be after launch, amount, right? We need to give amount, and then so business object name, currency, this is a amount. After the amount, input currency and output currencies, right? Double click, input currency, use this currency, input currency, click OK. After the input currency, so we need to click on output currency, output currency. So after that output currency, so we need to click on a convert button. Use your business object name, currency, and then convert button. After the convert, we are going to pick the result action. Double click on this. This one is for result, and then use the business object name, and then we need to get the result. After the result, so we are going to terminate this application. Terminate. Again use business object name, you can see, then use terminate. Click OK. Now give the links to start to launch, launch to amount, amount to input currency, output currency, convert button, result, terminate. After that click on a end. So now reset. Now we will try to run this. Now when you are running this, what is the values it is going to take for the amount and input currency and output currency? It is going to take whatever the values we have hard coded in that object studio. Those values only it is going to pick, and then it is going to so work with that values, right? Okay, now so let me run. It's trying to launch. So we have given weight here, right? Okay, it's entered the amount, GBP, INR, and then it converted. It has to wait for 10 seconds. After that, it is going to pick the result, and then it is going to close your application. It will terminate that application, right? Okay. Now the result, whatever the result we are going to get there, we need to see that result here. Then what we need to do? We need to use output parameter, right? Where you are getting the result in the result stage. Right click, view action in Object Studio. Here you are getting a result. After completion of this, you are getting a result. So what it mean by that? That is output parameter. So add this output out, and then result, add this one, click OK. So now reset, and then save it, save it. Now come to this process, reset, refresh, double click on a result. Now you can able to see the output here, output. Now if you run this, whatever the result you are going to get by this particular process, you can able to see it here. So in your data item, in our data items. Now observe this, we are trying to run this. Now here it is always picking. If you run n number of times also, it is going to pick the same values. So because 9999 and then GBP to INR, it will give you the result. But what is our requirement? Our requirement is it has to pick the data from your Excel file, and then so this Excel file data, it has to give it to this application, right? That is our requirement. So here, so we'll see that. So in the next class we will see so how to pick the values from Excel file, how to give those values to this application. So what we need to do, so if you are having any values, and then if you need to pick that values into BluePrism, only one option we have. If you have any Excel or if you have any database also, what we need to do is, first thing is we need to pick these values from those Excel file or those database to collections. From the collections we have to give it. So briefly I will tell you what you have to do is, generally we will see that in next class. So we will have a data in Excel file. From Excel file we are going to give it to collection. If you have the data in collection, what we need to do, we need to use a loop. From the loop we need to give it to application. After that application process, we need to loop end. This is the things what we need to do. Same process for any application. There is no difference. In real time also, when you are working with any application, you are going to do the same approach. You are going to pick the data from Excel file to your collection. From the collection to, you are going to give it to the loop, because when you are using collection, you have to use a loop. Within the loop, you are going to use your application when you are entering the data into any of your applications. When you are automating, there is no difference. Only your application will change. Here we are using currency. Maybe you are going to use some other application in your real time. Okay, that's fine. So what are the things we discussed today? So we discussed about how to work with this currency converter application. So here first we go through that application, and then we saw that how many actions we have to implement, and then what are the elements we need to create, and then each and every element what action you need to perform, right? Here one thing you need to remember, if you have any like things when you are spying, if you have any object with multiple spyings, then must and should we have to spy it, and then we have to test it. Then only we can able to decide, did you need to go for an inner one or did you need to go for a outer one, right? That is the first thing you need to remember. And the next thing is, here we saw that why we are unchecking our parent URL. We need to uncheck the parent URL, because if it has to work dynamically, we have to uncheck parent URL. If you use parent URL, every time it is going to do the same thing, same repetitively, so it will work for the same thing. So that's why we need to uncheck parent URL. Okay. And then wait, we have saw that where to use a weight option, dynamic weight option. So it's not so mandatory like everywhere you have to use only dynamic. It's purely depends on your application behavior, how your application is behaving. Based on that, we need to so create a weight, and then we have to decide that whether to use dynamic or whether to use a static weight or so use a defined weight. Okay, so is it clear? So today what we have done. Okay, so in next class we will see so how we are going to pick the data from this Excel file, and then how to get the result so into that particular thing, particular Excel or particular so collection, whatever it may be. So here very important thing is how to pass the values from Excel file to your so application. There input and output parameters will come into the picture. We will see that in so next class how to so work with it.